Good afternoon, welcome back to Adventures with Rosy. If you're new here, basically my name's Bronson, my wife Chelsea and our son Harvey, we travel around New Zealand in our motorhome named Rosy, hence Adventures with Rosy. Now we found out recently, a couple months ago, that we're expecting twins any time in the next couple of months. Super pumped about that, excited, it's going to be a fun little challenge. But what that has meant is that we've had to sell Rosy, the vehicle I'm sitting in right now. By the time you see this, actually, she'll be off with a new owner. So we're kind of at a bit of a crossroads here. So basically we want to carry on with our plans to travel around New Zealand. We want to do this full time. We want to take the kids, take the new twins. We want to see this beautiful country, give the kids an appreciation of this beautiful country, and see it for ourselves. We haven't been down the South Island much. We haven't explored down there. There's a whole lot of it to see. So we're at a bit of a crossroads because we've either got to look for a motorhome like Rosy that's going to comfortably sit 5 of us, 3 of which will be in car seats, or we look at a caravan and then tow that behind a vehicle which would comfortably seat the family as well. So this video, I guess, is just to sort of talk about the pros and cons of either. There's kind of no perfect solution, is there, of caravan versus motorhome or RV. It kind of is going to, I think, ultimately come down to what our needs are. So I guess the first consideration for us is the sleeping arrangement. In Rosy currently, and like a lot of models of motorhome like this, you've got a bed up above the cab they call the Luton, which is where we currently all sleep now. And then oftentimes the lounge area in the back makes up a bed. Now that's great, you could leave the adults could sleep up the top and the kids could sleep down the bottom. What it does mean is if the kids go to bed, say 7:30 at night, and you've made up this back area into a bed, you've actually got no living space to sit in. So you either go to bed yourself or you sit up there and read a book. Obviously it gets a bit tricky if you say you want to make a cup of tea, you don't want to wake up the kids, that sort of thing. So I mean, you could put the kids up the top above the cab as well, but then you've got to obviously lift them up, take them down. You've got that height element as well, so there's a bit of risk there. It is a bit of a hassle we've found in the past making up a bed in a motorhome. So we've looked at a caravan that actually has bunks in it. I've never seen a motorhome with bunks, but we saw a caravan a few weekends ago that actually has 3 bunks in the back, so 3 bunks high, and then a queen bed up the front. So I guess the benefit of having bunks would mean the kids would have their own space. They were curtained off, especially when they get a bit older. They start going to bed at different times. One kid could go to bed, shut the curtain, next kid goes to bed, shut the curtain, that sort of thing. And in caravans, a lot of the times those bunks are partitioned off from the living space in the caravan, which could be quite helpful. So the second consideration, I guess, is that if we went down the caravan path, we would have to have a tow vehicle, obviously. Rosy is, a motorhome, so she's all contained, 7.5 meters long. And I guess the kind of the benefit of that is you just drive anywhere and you stop and you climb through the seats and you're in the back. You have a cup of tea, that sort of thing. With a caravan, the ones we looked at that are say that'd be anywhere from 19 to 22 feet, one that would comfortably sleep a family of 5. Then obviously you've got a bit of extra length on the front for the drawbar, and then you've got some extra length in front of that for your tow vehicle. So you end up with a longer vehicle. You're obviously towing. Some roads in New Zealand, not like other parts of the world, some roads here are quite windy, tight, hilly, so you'd have to have a vehicle with a bit of grunt to pull a caravan through those scenarios. But the real benefit for us is that currently in Rosy we have a car seat where Harvey sits. Now when we're not driving, we have to have the car seat there, so we actually lose a seat. So if we had 3 car seats in Rosy, we actually lose a lot of space to having the car seats set up all the time. Now you could take them out and move them when you've stopped somewhere and set up the table, but then you've got to put the car seats back and hook them all up again. So the benefit of having a caravan is obviously you've got no car seats in the back. All those car seats are in your tow vehicle, which also means if you get somewhere and park up you've got a vehicle to explore, to go shopping, to you know, there's been quite a few places in Rosy, like up sort of hills or mountains, where we've been like, oh, we'd love to go up there, but they're not suitable for heavy vehicles like this. So it would give us a bit more freedom to explore. So there's a trade-off. We got to tow a vehicle. It's a long, you know, it would end up quite long, but then once we get there, we've got that car to explore. So that's kind of a real benefit, I guess, for us. I think what we're going to have to do ultimately is change the way, our mentality around how we holiday. So currently, like, I don't know if you've seen, I'll link below, but we did a big trip around New Zealand's East Cape. We stayed in a different campsite every night. We moved around over a couple of weeks. Every night, new spot. Maybe that's not so practical with a caravan. Maybe you go to one spot, but you stay there 3 nights, or stay there for 5 nights, and you park up, you set up, and there's your base. But in the day, you can jump in the car and go off and explore this, walk, or go off and explore this, you know, and come back to your caravan at night. So I think there's a real benefit for us anyway, to sort of having that car. The other really big benefit is you only have one vehicle. So, you know, currently we have another car and Rosy, so we've got 2 vehicles, so we're paying, you know, 2 lots of insurance and 2 lots of servicing and certificate of fitness and that sort of thing. So there is a bit of a trade-off there. Caravans overall are a bit cheaper. So speaking of the price of running them, the actual upfront purchase price for a motorhome versus a caravan, you get a lot more for your money in a caravan. Obviously it's got no engine, it's got no transmission, it's just a box on wheels basically, isn't it? So you're going to get a lot more for your money. So a couple of small issues we have in Rosy now, which would only be issues if we went on the road full time, is we don't have a oven. We just have a grill and the stove top. So you've got 3 kids, you know, you're going to be wanting to cook meals in the oven. So that's something we would have to look for in a motorhome. The other thing that sort of is a bit of a restriction for us in here is the fridge size. So currently I think we've got an 80 litre, might be a 90 litre fridge with a tiny freezer. You know, obviously 3 kids running around, you're going to be cooking a lot of meals. Fridge space is quite prime. I suppose you could, you know, we could convert, maybe lose some bench space and have a bigger fridge in Rosy, but obviously all that would come at a cost. The other small downside to a lot of motorhomes you see is the shower is over the toilet. So it's what they call a wet room. So basically in Rosy now, shower's above the toilet. When you have a shower, everything gets wet. Now everything in that room is designed to get wet, except for the toilet paper if you forget to take that out. But it does mean you've got to squeegee it down. You know, you've got to kind of dry it a bit before you've got that space usable. Most of the caravans we've looked at, separate toilet, separate shower. Another neat thing we've seen in a few caravans we've looked at is a washing machine. Small little 4 kg washing machine. Chelsea keeps telling me that with 3 kids there might be a bunch of washing to do, so that could be a benefit. So we're at this real crossroads of we like the motorhome lifestyle. We like to be able to jump in, turn it on and go. We're not hitching anything up, we're not leveling it out, we're not towing anything, we're not trying to reverse something big. You know, Rosy's relatively easy to reverse and parallel park and that sort of thing. But I think maybe with 3 kids, with those 2 extra on the way, I think maybe our mentality around how we're going to holiday is going to just change slightly. Maybe we do stay somewhere a bit longer, like I said, and day trips. I'd love to know your thoughts though. We're looking at both options. We've found a newer Rosy which would work. We've also seen a few caravans that we quite like that would work. So yeah, what do you think? I'm always keen to hear people's opinions on the motorhome versus caravan debate. I know there's no perfect solution. It's not a one size fits all you know, scenario. It does depend on how you holiday and your plans. But yeah, we're on the fence. We're in the middle. I'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Like I said, exciting times ahead. We're gonna purchase a new Rosy. We've got twins on the way. in a couple of months, which is going to be epic. We've also got a new series coming up on the channel, which I'm super excited to share with you guys, where we explore basically explore things that make a town famous, a town or a city in New Zealand, and hopefully further abroad in the future. So we're going to check out local hotspots, you know, climb mountains in towns, watch sunsets, sort of do things the locals do. So that new series will be coming out probably when the twins arrive. As you can imagine, I might not have too much time to film while the twins are here. They may take up a bit of our time, our free time. So we'll drop that series then. There'll be a whole bunch of episodes, and then we're going to get back into the swing of the Rosy adventures as soon as we can. Love to know your thoughts. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.